Hello, dear viewers tuning in around the world. This is South Sudan Media broadcasting live in Central Cairo, and welcome to our episode of Fursadna program with me, Samuel Aware. On our special edition about Fursadna program today, we will be hosting the contestant for the chairmanship of Awil Student Association in Arab Republic of Egypt, Mr. Santino Deng, and he will tell us more about all his interest for contesting. Welcome to the studio, Mr. Santino.
Yeah, thank you, South Sudan Media, and thank you also to Aware for this opportunity.
Okay, could you introduce yourself to the spectators of South Sudan Media?
First of all, I would like to say hello to my viewers all over the world. Especially our students, William students from different universities. I would like to say a big shout out to all of you from Alexandria, from Suez, from Cairo University, from around Enchems, wherever you are. I would like to say good afternoon to you. And my name is Santino Deng, as Aware kindly mentioned before. I am one of the contestants for the Awil Student Associations here in Cairo. You know, I am students at Cairo University, Faculty of Commerce, departments of business administrations. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Santino Deng, could you highlight your manifesto and the reason what motivates you to contest for the position of chairmanship of Student Association in Egypt?
First of all, let me say what motivates me. You know, John Lewis once said, if you see something wrong, then do something about it. So I have seen a lot of things have not been going the way they're supposed to be. And I also have a zeal for my country, and I also want to deliver a service to my country people. I mean, my states, my homeland, people of Madinga. I'm a student here in Cairo, so I'd like to give them what I think is best for them, what they deserve. And that's why I beat my chest and I say I am the right person, and this is the right time for me to serve them and to deliver efficient and effective service that they deserve to be given to them. And that's why I decided to take this opportunity to contest for this upcoming election.
Okay, and could you highlight all your manifesto and the reason why you beat your chest and you want to contest for the chairmanship?
According to my manifesto, the first thing that I mentioned in my manifesto is, I wanted to redraft the constitutions of our associations. And then the second to it, I also want to promote peace and tranquility. And then I also wanted to create, a team, like a microscope team, in order to collect the statistics of the students and the numbers of the students, from different universities. And I also wanted to create, a platform, whereby we can be able to upload our videos, like YouTube channels and etc. Because my manifesto is too long. I think we can go through it step by step.
Okay, Mr. Santino Deng, you said that you will redraft the constitution. Is the constitution not well amended?
Yeah, first of all, the constitution is not well amended because I went through the constitutions word by word, line by line, and paragraph by paragraph, and I realized that the constitution was not well constituted by those who drafted. Why do I say that? Because the constitution itself, I couldn't find where there are duties and responsibilities, and I couldn't also find written in the constitution where there are penalties for those who have committed some kind of misconduct, when it comes to public fund, when it comes to moral values, like the way people behave and the way the leadership should be.
Okay, Mr. Santino, will you redraft the constitution yourself?
No, I'm not gonna do that.
What way will you redraft the constitution?
Yes, as I said before, if I'm going to redraft the constitution, in the first place, I will have to introduce something called a modern leadership hierarchy called checks and balance leadership. So, and this checks and balance leadership, a leadership hierarchy, it is divided into three type of departments. So the first department is the one that we know, that is executive, and the second department is the one which I will create. We will amend it into the constitution. That's called student assembly, and then the second is what we call G5 committee, and G5 committee will serve as a judge, as a judicial, in judicial system, and the role of the judge. The role of this G5 committee is going to be like anti-corruption commission. They will be there, in case of any kind of a problem, or if there's anybody who misbehave, and then the council of the students will transfer that person to the judge so that they can face the trial.
Mr. Santino, before you divided maybe your regime into three wings of executive and council of the student, and also the judiciary. What is the structure of the association as per now?
The structure of the association as per now is actually one-sided association, like only executive. All the powers are concentrated on one person. Let me give you an example. They say if you find a mad dog on the way, the mad dog could bite anybody. The mad dog could bark at anyone. And why? Because there is too much power, there's too much energy upon that mad dog, and this is not what we want. We want the power to be separated. We want the power to be given to the rest of the people, to the students, to have so much of power instead of the chairman having all the power in his hand. Because if the chairman is having too much power in his hand, he will be likely to abuse the power, against the innocent students, and he will be likely to use that power in order to misuse the public funds. And that's why I decided to divide the leadership into three departments, such that the power should be given back to the students, actually, in real sense.
Okay, Mr. Santino, after you divided or separate the powers into three main wing, like department, like you have executives, council, and the judiciary.
Sure.
Okay, what will be the role of executives?
The role of the executive is going to be they should carry out their task. They should be able to deliver the service to the students. In case if there is any student fell sick, that student should be visited by the executive members, including myself.
Okay, what will be the role of the council and also the judiciary?
Yeah, the role of the council is actually to ensure that the constitution and the executive are working at the basis of the constitution. So they have to see into it that the fund of the students are being used, in their rightful place, and then also the constitution is actually being implemented by the executive, And then also they should be able to warn somebody in case if you mess up, even me if I mess up, because this is going to be above anyone. No one is going to be above the law, and the council of the student are the one to carry the law in their hand. It means that the law are not in my hand. The law are in the hand of the students, and this is what we want, because we want the law to be given back to the hand of the students, so that in case you misbehave, they are able to do it, to trial you and also charge you with that thing in case of that. That's why I am convinced, and I believe that if the council of the students is given that so much power, then the leader or the chairperson may not be able to misbehave, would be more cautious when it comes to handling public funds, would be more cautious when it comes to the treatments of the executive members that have been assigned or appointed into that.
Okay, Mr. Santino, as now you are still a candidate contesting for the chairman, if you win the election and you go into the position, will you exactly do what you promised, or you will divide it the association into three wings?
Of course, I will do that, because the reason why I create this three main department, in our association, is because I want to ensure that peace and tranquility are upheld, justice is in place, and then transparency is also being exercised, and also accountability, should be done by that. And that's why the roles of the Council of the Students is going to be much more than that, because we want to see into it that justice is in place. We want to see into it that transparency and accountability are always being upheld by the Council of the students and the executive themselves. And you said before about the role of the judiciary. So judiciary's role, they will have more powers, and I did mention something about what is the combination of the Council of the Student. So Council of the Student actually will be comprised of more than 21 members, and these members will be contributed, will be taken from different different side of universities. So we could take 3 members from Alexandria, 3 members from Suez, 3 members from Cairo University, 3 members from Ain Shams University, and some of the members from institutes and technological studies. So we will bring them all, and seated them as Council of the Student, and then we will tell them that this is it, and you are the one now representing our students. So now it is our time, it is your time to sit down and then see what we can do about the Constitution, and then we write the Constitution all together. And then after the Constitution is being written, now we will be able to appoint our executive, and our executive has to work in line with the Constitution that is being redrafted.
Okay, meaning like the student council are the representative of the General Assembly.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Santino, may you talk about in your manifesto about fund mobilization? How will you mobilize fund?
Fund mobilization actually is one of the easiest things that I could talk of. And why do I say it's one of the easiest? Because we are the associations, and we have all that is needed for us to mobilize the fund. So the first thing that I would do, I will make sure that the association is having its own product. Like we can produce T-shirt, we can produce any kind of product that we want to have in the name of the association, and then that T-shirt or that cap will go on sale. And after it has gone on sale, we will mobilize students and tell them that, hey, come and change this T-shirt with the minimum price, and then that price that you will pay, and then in exchange of taking the T-shirt, that money will come back to the account of the student. And then not only that, we will also make some we'll be writing some documents, some proposal requesting for kind of support from different institutions, different organizations, and some of the Williams sons who are working in the government officials. We will also be approaching them such that they can be able to give us some kind of help. And not only that, we will also be able to conduct some kind of fundraising. But before we conduct fundraising, we must have something in our own. We must have our own ways of getting income. We must have our own ways of getting money, so that we can be able to run our activities by that.
Okay, Mr. Santino, can you talk about something like culture modification, which you have mentioned before in your manifesto?
All right, culture remodification. Why do I say culture remodification? Culture remodification actually, it's gonna be like this. For us now, we have only one culture. We have Ayandit, and then we have Gon. Let's say Gon, and these are two main culture practice that we practice nowadays. So when I say remodification, it means we have more than two cultural practice. We have what we call cave. In our mother tongue, someone could sing, someone could just speak some kind of a word of bravery, word of courage. Like some kind of, and then there are some other cultural practice like Dan, and some of the things that have not been practiced. So we will also put them into the place so that they can also be practiced and make some sort of competitions. And we will if we say we want to compete, we want to make competition between different investors for the students. We should be having what we call cultural day for the student, not for the community. Culture day for the student. What do I mean by that? It means that if we have this in place, we will invite youth associations, we will invite community associations, and then we, the student associations, will invite them and host the cultural event festival for us, and we invite those people, and they will select what kind of dancing tradition that they want to practice, and we will take our own, and then we compete, so that we don't forget our cultural heritage, because through the culture we could be able to promote peace and tranquility that we have talked about earlier before.
Okay, Mr. Santino, I went through your manifesto and you mentioned already about gender equity or gender equality. Can you explain how are you going to promote gender equity in your association?
Very good. That's a very good question. When it comes to gender equity, so it means that the equity mean that the portion. Now, when I talk about the portion, it means that the portion of the ladies, of the Williams young girl, they are so much more neglected, and this is what we don't want. That we want ladies to take part in the leadership. We want ladies to take part in the secretarial positions, for them to work in those positions, and that's why I would like to make sure that if I become the chairperson of the Will Student Association, I will make sure that girls are also prioritized, when it comes to positions, when it comes to service delivery, when it comes to some of the things that they need, especially, and they should also be motivated and encouraged in order for them to carry on with their academic studies.
Okay, Mr. Santino, as maybe if you win the election what will you do maybe if you found the freebase executive or the outgoing executive have misconduct in the regime?
Well, as I said before, that John Lewis said that if you find something wrong, then do something about it. So I will do something against those who have abused the public fund on condition only. On condition that those who are claiming that the public fund have been misused, that on condition that they have the evidence, the evidence that shows that those people have really done this, then I will be able to do something about it. I may form a separate committee to look into the issues, into this matter, and in case we fail not to get the right evidence or the verified evidence, then you that is accusing the public servant of not using the fund in the right place, then you will also be tried, because those one also who have been serving as a Williams, they were a Williams and they were serving us on the other hand, but that doesn't mean that we could accuse them cheaply. That's not right. So anyone who is claiming, who have any claim, must make sure that you come up with the concrete evidence that show that they have done this.
Okay,
because those people also, they are Williams and they were saving us. They have right also, so we cannot also mix things.
Okay, Mr. Time is again at us. What will be your last message to the Will student based in Cairo and some others in Alexandria, Swiss, and also some who are studying institute? What will be your message to them?
Well, my message to them is that I'm calling upon everybody. I'm calling upon all the William students, wherever you are, watching us right now, that this is me, Santino Deng, in the camera. So calling upon you, if you are to vote, if you are to be campaigning against somebody or for somebody, then we want us to make a peaceful campaign, a campaign that has no threat, a campaign that has no devising people, or a thing that can make people to be divided. So we need to remember that we are a Williams. We need to remember that we have to come back to our Williams, because a will is our center. A will is where we come and meet. So I want us to come and do our things, and do our election, do our campaign in a way that shows that we are all a Williams and we are united, and we don't want anybody to feel like you are more or less a Williams. So we are all a Williams, regardless of who you are, regardless of where you come from.
Wishing you all the best. Dear viewers tuning around the world, we have come to an end of our episode of First Channel program today, and stay tuned for more program. My name is Samuel Aware. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.